Hello viewer, OGB here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Shockadin build to do Dire Maul East jump runs and farm a bunch of gold with terrible gear. You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. Just kidding, I've geared up quite a bit since recording this, but the entry level for doing this farm is incredibly low. And that's why for the majority of the recording, I'm going to be using the very first gear set that I put together to do this. So here it is on screen, basically just a bunch of dungeon loot and auction house BOEs. I have the 3-piece Sunken Temple set and the Nomoran shield. So like I said earlier, the gear is pretty terrible. It's very accessible, anybody could get this. Even with this gear, I'm clearing these runs in 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, so quickly showing my talent points. I take Improved Seal of Crusader in Ret, Precision and Kings in Prot, and all the way down to Holy Shock, picking up Improved Blessing of Wisdom in Holy. Because of my gear, I'm actually using Improved Wisdom over Kings, but as soon as you get better gear or you start using world buffs, you can swap over to Kings. Okay, let's begin the run. So one of the other things we're looking for in here are the dusty tomes that are found just laying on the ground in certain locations in Dire Maul East. 2 of them can be in this first area that we jump down into, and I'll show you exactly where you should run to check both of them every single time. The first one is going to be under these tangled branches or roots over here, behind the 2 pillars at the far side of the room. The second one will be next to this pillar that's directly across from me, close to that Dreamfoil node and the small pack of lashers. The reason you want to check these are that the class trinkets from these books are selling for quite a bit for some classes right now, with the Hunter and the Priest ones both being over 100 gold on Crusader Strike US. I would have to say the 2 best professions to have for doing these jump runs are mining and enchanting, but you can still make decent money off of herbalism as well. You can definitely get all of the Dreamfoil nodes and sometimes get lucky and get a Lotus off one of them in here. If you happen to run into one of the stealth satyrs on your way up to the boss, feel free to just pop all of your offensive cooldowns on it, because you're going to be basically saving your bubble for the first boss while we solo him. Once you make it to Zevrim Thornhoof, copy the movements that I'm using here and use your body to hypnotize him into thinking he is a yo-yo. Then, as he's running back and forth, pelt him with Holy Shock and Exorcism, basically until he dies. Anytime you see him casting Sacrifice, you need to move behind the pillar. Otherwise, he will put it on you and you can bubble at one time, but if he catches you twice, you're gonna die. We have to kill this guy in order to open the door on the other side of the instance, and also because he has a chance to drop the class books, as well as some high-level greens that can disenchant into the Greater Eternal Essence, which is worth quite a bit of gold. One optional part of this farm is you can also go down and pull Hydrospawn up to this very same spot and use this same strategy to kill him as well. He can also drop Essence of Water, which is another 20 gold or so if you get lucky. Once you kill this guy, backtrack all the way back to the tree dude in the middle, make sure you talk to him, and then head down to the last boss. There is one more dusty tome that can spawn right next to the bottom of this pillar we jump on top of, so take a quick look for that. And otherwise, we'll use basically the same strategy that we used on the other boss to kill Alzin, or not kill him, but just bring him to 50%, and then we will do a reset that allows us to run out of the dungeon and mine the thorium. I like to judge Crusader on him to make the fight go a little bit faster. But this also requires weaving in Crusader Strikes in order to maintain the debuff. So the important thing to know here is just don't do it when he is in his wolf form, because he will put a slow on you that you cannot freedom off, and it makes this entire thing kind of sketchy to complete if you let him get that on you. He also has 2 spells he can cast when he is in his satyr form. You just need to instantly dispel them as soon as they go off, or you can run behind the pillar to line of sight if you wish, but I just dispel them and it's not an issue. Once he gets to about 52% or less, the imps are going to come out by knocking a hole through the wall and exposing the exit to the instance. So when this happens, I like to bait everything to run to the far end of the room, and then use my steed to run to this reset spot. From there, you can either use an invisibility potion to run up the tunnel and bypass the imps, or if you don't have a potion, you can do what I do here, which is jump down, consecrate the imps, hold your bubble for a little bit, but then bubble, Holy Wrath, and consecrate again, and steed back over to the original spot where you can send all the mobs away, and then run to the reset spot again. Obviously what I'm doing here is slightly different, but that's because I got that slow on me during the fight and had to use my bubble to save myself from a wipe. Alright, so that's all there is to it. Now let's head over to the auction house and we'll look at 5 runs worth of stuff in my bags and what I made from it. So looking at my profits just from the mining aspect of these runs, not including what I got from herbalism or the potential of disenchanting, we're looking at 3 stacks of thorium bars, 4 stacks of dense stone, 3 arcane crystals, 3 high-level greens and 2 blues, 2 fell cloth, and 2 books. One of them was good, one of them wasn't. It all adds up to about 165 gold at the end of it here. I think 165 gold per hour on a toon with basically fresh 60 gear is pretty respectable, and I believe if you include another profession in this, you can easily clear 200 gold per hour here in Dire Mall East. One final thing to mention is you can still continue to squeeze even more gold out of these materials if you have engineering or blacksmithing on another character. You can send your thorium, your rune cloth, your dense stone over to those characters and then craft things like explosives and sell them for more gold. If you were one of the people that was asking me for a farm that you could do with less gear, I hope you found this helpful, and I hope I earned your subscription. OGB out.